In today's tutorial we're going to actually make a simple row shape, and this is just actually to teach you how to actually do some low poly modeling and do some transparencies. So I'm just going to X to delete the cube like that, add in a mesh, and the mesh we're going to add in is a simple cylinder. We can keep the default cylinder, but what we're going to do is actually scale this up. Scale that up by selecting the top face in edit mode by pressing the tab key, select the top face, and I'm going to select the bottom face now and just scale this down, because what I'm doing is making a simple row shape. I'm just going to scale this in the Z just to flatten it down slightly, and I'm going to select the top face, and X will delete the face, but what we're going to do, we only want the face only, so I'm going to put only face. So now we've got this shape, and I'm just going to shade smooth by hitting the right mouse button and shade smoothing. So we've got this simple dish shape, and we're going to use this to make our dog rows or low poly rows, just so you can use this attaching to a plant or something like that, or a bush or a tree. I'm just going to show you how to actually attach this texture to this. So going to here, we've got materials, so I'm going to put new. The materials and the flowers can be found on my community tab on my channel. So what we're going to do is just actually attach a image texture to this. We did that by hitting this little dot on base, going to image texture, and what we're going to do is we're going to just attach the image textures to this. So I'm just going to open it. I've saved these in my dog rows picture, because a dog rose is what a rose actually goes back, reverts back into. So that's what these are, and as you can see, these are the original pictures which I took on my walk, and these are the transparencies, which are ping images that I created in Pixlr once I got back home. So I'm just going to actually select this one because it's the most distinct, and now I've attached that to there, but you cannot see it. So let's just go into this option here, and as you can see, we've got some real distortion there, and that's because it's just not actually unwrapped it properly. So first of all, hit the 7 key. I'm just going to adjust the scales by pressing Ctrl and A, and then go rotation and scale. That appears to do nothing, but what we're going to do now is press the tab key to go into edit mode, A to select all, and then we're going to press the U key, which is UV editing, and we're going to project this from view like that. And as you can see, now our rose there is actually on our cylinder, but it's not quite right. And the way we do this is we go into UV editing, and as you can see, we're in UV editing. We've still got the actual edit mode enabled by pressing the tab key, and I'm just going to A to select all in there, and as you can see, I'm just going to go onto this window here and A again to select all. If we just scale this up now so it covers the whole rows like that, and then we'll go back into our layout window, and as you can see, it's now altered it so it's showing our whole rows, but as you can see, this is not transparent around the edge. Go into our shading tab, and this is very important. What we've got to do is we've got our alpha here, because we've got a transparency in the ping image. We can actually just go to here into alpha, and as you can see, it's still black, and the reason this is still black is because we haven't enabled it properly yet in Blender. And this is done really simply by selecting the material that we created earlier. As you can see, that's rose. I'm just going to call this rose 1 just because I can. Right, so I've just called it rose 1, and what nobody ever shows you in these tutorials from time to time in Blender is how to actually enable a transparency. As you can see, I need to do a bit of work on there because I've missed a little bit there, but that's not transparent, but we can do that at a later date just by going back into Pixlr. And I covered this in a previous tutorial to show you how to make a transparency. So please look at that tutorial, which will enable you to actually use Pixlr to enable transparencies, so you too can take pictures as you're going around or in your garden and make your own little flowers. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually go into screen space reflections. Yeah, enable this, but that still doesn't change anything there. So then what we do is actually go into I think it's alpha clip, but I'm not, and then go into here and then go into alpha hashed. I think you can set these both to alpha clip, But as you can see, we have now got ourselves a transparent image. So I'll go into render mode just to actually look at it. And as you can see, we have now got a transparent image that, unless you're actually going on close inspection, looks quite real. So what you can then do is attach this into your different models, and if you want to change its shape slightly, what you can do is go into edit mode and you can go into proportional editing, select a point, and of course drag it around just to change its shape if you so wish. If you want to make each little row slightly different, but I wouldn't really bother, because you can just change the scales of these and you'd end up with these roses are very, very similar when you actually look at them, and there's no real reason to actually change them so much because they're nearly all identical. Of course, you can actually just attach a stem onto here and then attach it to a plant or a tree or a bush, and the bushes can be created quite easily with the sapling tree generator, and change the actual leaves to actually look like a rose. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you found it useful, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget, hit the like button. Thank you for joining me on Blender TC. Bye for now.